thought that guy was pretty cool. Alright. And I thought it was interesting because he talked about something. I always thought that climate change insinuated like different weather patterns, and he kind of talked about how it doesn't necessarily. So that was cool. Did anyone notice something that he did well? Yes.
It was really straightforward and to the point. He didn't mess up, and he knew what he wanted to say.
Yeah, he was very straightforward. Anything else? Alright, we'll go to the next one. I also liked his shirt. It was pretty stylish.
Bill Nye, the Science Guy.
And animals become land and water creatures called amphibians. Other creatures emerging from the water make the land their home, become reptiles and grow scales, like a seal.
Living things evolve, living things change, but not that fast. Now here's a dam that humans put here, and over here is a fish ladder. And here's the idea. Fish can swim from step to step and get up the ladder and get up past the dam. You see what I'm saying? But you see one fish, one big salmon over there. I mean, salmon are fish. You see one? Not one. I mean, salmon are like this. You think I'm telling you fish are another big fish. But they're over there. You know this. Some people say the sea lions are eating fish. Well, the sea lions might eat a few fish. Maybe they eat a lot of fish. But they don't eat this many fish. It's a lot of fish that aren't getting past the dam. They're not getting to the fish ladder because humans have changed their environment. Humans have let silt come downstream, chemicals get in the water, then they dam the stream altogether so the salmon can't swim fast. And you know what else? It's not one person, billions and billions of humans slowly degrading the streams, making the environment not so good. So there's no salmon. You know what I'm saying? Because humans have changed the environment. Now, a fish could adapt. It could evolve. But it would take millions and millions of years. It's not going to happen in 100 years. It's not going to happen in a weekend. It takes a long, long time. Humans have changed the environment faster than most living things can keep up.
On a desolate world, where
Alright. Any comments on that one? Yes.
Well, one thing that it says on what did they approve, he was all over the place. Like, he was doing a lot of different things, and the sound effects were kind of off. But that's the point, though, not hectic.
Yeah, it was a little bit hectic. Yes.
I think he, like, what he said was good, but he just needs to, like, improve on all the others.
Yeah, Bill Nye's awesome, and he's really good at teaching, especially kids, but that video clip is really, it's really overwhelming, and I don't really understand what he's saying half the time. So he could definitely slow down and maybe have more of a plan. All right, and this last one, so this last one isn't science, it's somebody, I think he's a researcher talking about Mayan civilization.
Well, the long count is a system of counting days back in 3114 BC. Maya mythology says that the calendar reset to be day one back then. But they name it the completion of 13 Baktuns, or 400-year periods, of the third creation. Now we're in the fourth. So the calendar has been clicking its way up since that BC period, and now on December 21st, we've once again reached 13 400-year periods. Therein is the Western world's assumption that if it reset back in that BC period, then once again it's going to reset. However, Maya texts don't say anything about a reset now. My opinion is the odometer of the long count just keeps clicking on.
All right. All right, any comments on that guy talking? Yes.
He's very chill the whole time. He's sitting on the couch, just talking. He had a robe on.
Yeah, he was just chilling. He was definitely knows what he's talking about, but I did not understand anything he said. I don't know if you guys did, but so maybe knowing your audience and being able to communicate things in more general terms and simplified terms would be helpful for him. But he was very chill, so that was,
I feel like he wasn't speaking towards the general public, he was more speaking towards people who already know some stuff, but he's getting more into in-depth.
right, right. Yeah. Good point. Alright. So before we move on, I'm gonna show you guys how I use different skills to communicate environmental science topics. So I have a little friend with me. I wish he was my parent. He would not be this quiet. Hello. Alright. So this is my friend Sharon. Sharon is a box turtle, and she, as you can see, is missing an arm. Yeah. So she had a little lawnmower accident, and they had to amputate her arm. And now she's an ambassador for environmental science. And something that turtles often get into is car accidents. I don't know if you guys have ever seen a turtle on a road, but oftentimes they cross the road to get to a nesting spot. So aquatic turtles and also land turtles will cross streets to get to nesting spots, and they don't move both ways. So, and it's really important that we protect them because female turtles, they only, I think, they have hatchlings once a year in the springtime, and most of their babies don't make it. So it's really important for us to keep them in a good, healthy population size. Have you guys ever seen the turtle crossing signs anywhere? Like, there's a lot of them at the beach usually. And that's because, again, it's really bad when even one dies because there's not a lot of them make it. So yeah, but she's a survivor and she's really awesome. You guys want me to kind of bring her around? And she won't hurt you, but just don't put your fingers near her face. And she's very social. She's not shy. I think she's 14 years old, and they live to be about 80. It's like the max, so she's really just a teenager like you guys.
Long way to go.
Huh?
Just a long way to go.
I know. Yeah, it's crazy how long they live. I think sea turtles they can be like 100 and over 100 years old. It's crazy.
Does she have red eyes?
Yeah, she's so cute. So I'm using Sharon to kind of get the attention off of me, which is really helpful when you're speaking in front of an audience and you get nervous. Everyone's not looking at you, they're looking at the turtle. We'll talk about that, and also introducing a problem whenever you're speaking, especially in environmental science, and then going from the problem to a source of action to prevent the problem is a really good way to get a message across. So what are ways that we can protect turtles? Does anyone have an idea? Yeah, supporting conservation. Awareness, yeah, that's a big one. So education. What if you were driving and you saw a turtle crossing the road? What would you do? Stop. Yeah, not hit it. Swerve, yeah. Maybe just be careful when you're driving. But yeah, if you ever do see a turtle crossing the road and you decide to help it and maybe move it across the rest of the road, make sure that you're always placing them in the same direction that they were walking, because they have this little internal GPS that tells them where their nesting site is, and if you turn them around, they get really confused, basically. So, all right, everyone say bye to Sharon. There you go. Whoa. She's crazy. She's on the move. Okay, so some other tips, understanding your audience, like you said, that one professor was maybe speaking to people that already knew about this topic, but you're speaking to people people that don't know about the topic, you want to simplify information. If you're speaking to kids, that's a lot different than speaking to adults. So I'm not speaking to you guys the same way I would speak to children, essentially. Decide if your audience, or if you're teaching in an informal setting or a formal setting, which basically just means formal is, this could be kind of formal, but maybe you're doing a presentation to your professor, teacher. Informal would be like if you're just talking to your friend and you're trying to tell them about turtles crossing the road. Right. Engaging your audience, that's very important. You can use a hook at the beginning of whatever you're about to say. You can use props. You can tell a story. I think telling a story is really useful and it helps you connect with your audience. And be relatable. Don't get up here and act like you're better than everyone else, or have a conversation with people. Just like I used Sharon to take the attention off myself, you could use a prop, you could use an animal, maybe, if the situation is right. Forming a skit, I know that's kind of silly, but it can be really fun, especially when you're around kids. They think it's really fun. I have another example. This is actually one of my professors, and he has a video program that he does for, I think it's like Georgia Broadcasting Station. What is it? GPS?
GPB? Or GBS? Wait, GBS.
I don't know.
GPB.
Yeah.
Georgia Public Broadcasting.
Georgia Public Broadcasting, yeah. So yeah, he does all these videos, he uses animals, he's really cool. He's gonna watch this video, so that's kind of scary, but all right.
Not the cutest face you've ever seen. Look at that little lady. I've been teasing you about what is this thing that is digging under the ground in southeast Georgia. That is the southeastern pocket gopher, a very important species down here, and I'm joined by a gentleman that knows a thing or two about southeastern pocket gophers. JT Pine, good to be with you. Thanks so much for being on the show. JT is a PhD student in the Warnell School of Forestry and Natural Resources, and we collaborate with our friends in Warnell. JT, you're working on a PhD, studying that species. What are you doing? What kind of things are you studying about?
We're doing a kind of a habitat composition and a bunch of other things across their entire range in Alabama, Georgia, and Florida.
Okay.
And we're looking specifically at doing some statistical sampling to check abundance and other things along those lines.
So movement, behavior, and I notice in your behavior, and we put a glove on, I was getting a bit nervous. Are we going to handle her?
Of course.
Well, let's do it. Can I get that? So I'm going to stand back for just a second. This is a ferocious raven here, southeastern pocket gopher. Look at this. So JT's picking her up right behind the leg. So JT caught her last night for our show. Thank you for doing that. We will release her in a second. So look at the face, look at the belly, and that mouth wide open. What do they call them, pocket gophers?
They have these external fur-lined cheek pockets right here that I'm not going to get my finger too close to. Because they tuck behind those rodent teeth, and they can close completely and the teeth will still be out. So they can kind of dig that way. And they can also store roots that they chew on in those cheek pockets, just like a chipmunk would.
Really? So they pocket that stuff away. Their teeth stay out, and they use their teeth to dig as well as their hands?
As well as their claws, yes.
Wow. So what I want to do is I want to prevent her from getting any more upset. We're going to release her. I'm going to get my glove on. So give me a second. We're going to put her back in the ground so you can see her fur. So let's do that. All right, so let's play a little game. Which hole is she going to go for? Hole number 1, 2, or 3? I'm going to reach over here and grab her and see what we can do. Come here, girl. It's okay. Here we go. Thank you for being on TV with us. See you guys. Let's put her back. Okay, let's see which one. Go ahead. Okay. We're going to make a new hole. Looks like it's door number 4, JT says. We're releasing her back into the wild. And now what we're going to talk about next is this idea about how the benefits of them digging in the ground, what that does for trees and forest ecosystems down here in South Georgia. So let's go there next while we wait on her to make up her mind. So look at the beauty behind us out here. This is incredible. A longleaf pine ecosystem. We've got some of the babies coming up. We've got the big trees here. is a place that fire is used to control and encourage growth right here. And we're talking about the Joseph W. Jones Ecological Research Center at Itchaway down here in South Georgia. JT, why should folks care about this special little road we've been talking about, the southeastern pocket road? What should we know, and folks at home know about this thing?
Well, the primary thing they do is contribute to understory diversity. So if you look around here, you can see tons of different species of legumes and grasses, and even poison ivy or poison oak, which is an awesome species. And they really will chew on the roots and do some selective herbivory to bring back a lot of the good species that we want in an area like this.
Interesting. And when they feed on those things, the plants respond by putting out more growth, and it helps the lushness, I guess, in the understory.
Definitely.
I've heard that these poppy gophers are like a keystone species, like a gopher tortoise. Is that correct?
Definitely. Similar to the gopher tortoise, they have underground burrows. They're a little bit harder to get into, and a lot of their associated species are invertebrates, but there are tons of vertebrate, like five-line lizards, and some snake species will use the southern pine snake.
There you go. I've heard those guys.
Yeah.
Beautiful snake. Gets in there. Maybe they can eat what's in the burrow too.
The gophers are one of the prime food sources for the southern pine snake.
And that's a snake that stays underground all the time. Well, JT, thanks for spending time with me today. It's beautiful to be out here. Y'all check out Southern Georgia and this place if you can. Y'all know what to do. Check out the Ranger Nick Facebook page.
All right. I really like that video. I thought the little gopher is so cute. You guys have anything? Did you notice anything good that he did in the video? Yeah.
Like he was using like hand gestures a lot, and like when he wanted to ask a question, he would go like this, you know, because then it would make them put more attention to him.
Right.
And then when he's ready to ask one question, he'd go like this.
Yeah. Hand gestures. And he's always really excited when he talks, which even when he's talking just normally, he's just like that. And it really engages the audience, I think. If you're excited about something, then other people can get excited as well. All right. Just take a few minutes and write down some feelings that you have about presenting. Maybe you get nervous, maybe you don't like it, maybe you do like it, I don't know. You can write it down and we'll come back.
We presented a couple weeks ago. I think that was our first project. They did a group presentation.
What was it on?
It all did really well. Water use case
Oh,
studies.
cool.
Yeah.
That's perfect. We'll talk about that. Does anyone get really nervous when they're presenting in front of people? Yeah. I feel like I used to get more nervous, but I taught last summer at the Botanical Gardens. I taught kids and middle schoolers, and that helped me get better at presenting, but sometimes I would definitely mess up. I think a few times I accidentally cussed in front of little kids, which was not good. But I don't think they caught it, but, you know, sometimes things just slip out. But yeah, and so, you know, not everyone's perfect. Not everyone's going to be the best public speaker ever, but there's some, we just talked about some skills that will make you better. All right, I think we can go ahead and you flip over the page. We're going to get into groups of 5 to 6 people, and there's some topics. I'll assign the topics to your groups, and we'll take like 20 minutes. What time is it?
2:30.
All right, yeah, we'll take 20 minutes, and I have some props that you can use, and I want you guys to get in a group and present on one of these topics. We'll do the awareness to action like I talked about, so presenting the issue, and then at the end, presenting something that you can do to help the issue. Do you guys want to
groups, form groups on their own. Yeah, there's 18 of y'all, so groups of 4 and then 2 groups of 5, I think, because you have 4 topics,
Yeah.
right?
All
They
right,
can
yeah.
usually group themselves pretty well.
All right, yeah, you guys get in groups of 4 or 5.
If y'all need my help, I'll group you.
I'll sit